Hiya ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Wonderlands. Today we're going to be talking about Endgame, and oh my god man, is the Endgame been just a blast. It's probably the best Endgame we've ever had in any of the Borderlands, bar none, not even close. It is immensely fun, or at least to me. Maybe it's not your fancy, but for me it is, and I want to talk your guys' ear off about it and explain it to the best of my ability. I'm still not deep in it, didn't have early access to the game, still just chipping my way through. Also, it's a long process. You have to go through each encounter to increase your chaos level. But let's get into that. Also, I wore this sweater because, yeah, my shirt is loud and it's like a tie-dye thing, but I just think it looks like probably one of the worst shirts ever, but it feels great. It's real soft. Anyway, it's too hot to wear that. So let us talk about the very first thing that you're going to do when you've beat the campaign. You are probably neck and neck about ready to level up, especially if you've been doing the side quests. In fact, odds are you probably are level 40 by the time you even beat the quest or the final mission. Anyways, you are going to get to Brighthoof, and then you are going to get access to, of course, the castle, and the castle is the Chaos Chambers, which is the bread and butter of what we're going to be working with right here. Chaos Chambers, boom. So what are the Chaos Chambers? We know about this. We talked about this before the game launched, but basically these are randomly regenerating things, like a procedurally generated instance, kind of. There's different runs you can do which are not, and yeah, so if we go to things like this, you guys can see that there's the feature run. The feature run will always be the exact same, but you can change the chaos levels of that. You may be asking, well, what are chaos levels? Well, if we go to Chaos Chamber Chaos Trial, geez, this is what gets you access to chaos levels. We'll talk about what those are in a hot minute, but basically, yeah, this is what's going to scale up the game and increase your chances of getting certain things. Think of them kind of like mayhem levels, except significantly less shitty and more better. Anyways, also more better, sorry. But there's the feature run. This is going to be Gearbox's weekly specialized run that has leaderboards and everything like that. It's going to be the same boss, same instance, same objective that you're going to have to clear, which is pretty nice, especially if it's not like protect Butt Stallion's stupid statue, which is the worst, I think. Anywho, and we got the normal run. This is just what you're going to do, your bread and butter go, and this is kind of like your multiplayer run, which is your extended run. Just going to take a lot longer of a time. I don't know what the reason for doing this is. Potentially maybe you're going to have a lot more floors, a lot more instances for you to acquire shards and spend them all at once. So the bread and butter of this is you're going to want to do Chaos Chambers and try to do the run that is going to give you the best possible outcome for your success. We'll go and do a run and I'll explain that because there's so many variables with the Chaos Chambers that I think we should talk about them. But let's talk with what is Chaos Levels. So Chaos Levels, if we open up our character screen, we go to Chaos Mode. It's going to talk to you a bunch about it. I've seen this before. Why is it saying it's new? Anyways, but Chaos Mode is this. So you can turn this on and off if you don't want it. It says right there, Chaos Mode offers increased challenge, better rewards, improved drop rates, higher quality gear, all this stuff. So it's going to slightly increase the difficulty of enemies. I haven't found that it's astronomical, and we'll talk about why that is in a hot minute. But if we go down to the stats, you guys can see that by having it on a Chaos Tier 3, enemies have more HP, enemies have only 12% more damage, that's nothing, and we're getting more gold, more loot, all that stuff, moon ore, all that stuff. But at the bottom, you can see that there's a 7.41% chance to get Chaos Gear, okay? Chaos Gear drop chance, really low. And we don't even get volatile gear at all. So what this is, Chaos Gear is a very, very rare thing if you're on low Chaos levels. The higher the Chaos levels, the greater the chance that you're going to be seeing a lot of Chaos Gear readily available. We'll talk about what Chaos Gear does in a minute, but just a quick TLDR, Chaos Gear is basically just better gear. Volatile gear is just better gear based on Chaos Gear. So when you get to level 20 of your Chaos, it's going to basically be like you're going to get a crazy good chance of dropping chaotic gear, but then you're going to want that itch to get the even better gear, and that's what volatile gear gives you that 1% chance to see volatile gear at level 20, the max possible Chaos level. That seems confusing. It's not. Essentially, by me just playing on Chaos level 3, there's a very low chance for me to get Chaos Gear. So then there begs the question, what is Chaos Gear? Oh no, I might have dropped all of it because it's not entirely necessary. Oh shit. Okay. Chaos Gear is this. Chaos Gear, in the simplest way I've ever heard it described, which is to me the way I think you should describe it because otherwise it gets complicated, Chaos Gear is just better gear. Slightly better gear. 15% better gear. which then exponentially jumps to, I think, 24% better gear when it's volatile gear. So there's like a 17 or a 15% betterment in your gear when it's chaos equivalent, okay? Which all that means is the stats that like damage, handling, accuracy, reload speed, all of those stats get improved if you see chaos above it. So it just gets a little bit better, but that does not take away the variability of other variables, I guess. So the chaos gear just makes it so that your base stats get improved. That's it, by like 15%. Not crazy, not like a huge margin, like a 50% increase, no. So then there begs the question, do you need chaos gear? No, not really. What you need is the thing that you've always needed within Borderlands, which is the best roll. So to have a gun that has the perfect amount of sequencing, scaling, and stats all feeding into what you most desire, and into your build. Weapons, to me, I feel like have a little bit of play, but not as much as you'd want, I guess, especially when there is the big pooba, which is spells. Spells have insane variability on them. What I mean by this is, yes, the base stats are neat and cool, but the things below there that says 56% spell damage, increased critical chance, or decreased critical chance, sorry, but increased status effect damage. Okay, awesome. All of these things are incredible and you should absolutely get them. So this is the thing that, like, if you're struggling with progressing or getting feeling sufficient damage output, farm vending machines until you find the ideal spell, whether it's multiple charges, rapid casting, or both, which I think is amazing, or just have multiple charges and a really low cooldown and it be fucking great. Or channeling, I know a lot of people love. I don't like channeling, it just feels gross, feels like a slow, clunky mess. But yes, if you want to use it, then use it. But yes, that is what chaos levels means. It just means the grayed out this bit right here, this just gets improved. That's all. And only by like 15 to 20%. Now, if you want the perfect gear, yes. Also, if you get volatile gear, then that's where it starts getting exponential. It turns into like a 25% damage bonus. But at a base, you can go through level 20 chaos levels with moderate to okay gear. What you're going to want to play off of, though, is these and this being in the right alignment to make it actually worthwhile. Not only that, but also enchantments. These are the two things you can have absolute control over because of vending machines and things like that. So let's go talk about enhancements. Before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, me here in post, I did want to say that chaos level is a static stat. So there's not chaos level 20 that shifts your gear up exponentially. It's just a kind of modifier that you can get randomly on any piece of your gear. And you can get it through vending machines. So a great tip is just to push through the chaos chambers and level up your chaos rank, and then go farm vending machines to get an OP spell, and that'll take care of you for a hot minute. But yes, it is not something that gets exponentially increased like Mayhem level 1, 2, and 3. It is just a static chaos level, boom, you have it. So as you do the chaos chamber, you're going to be getting two types of currency. We talked about this beforehand in a news video, but you are going to be getting moon ore and chaos shards. Chaos shards are exclusive to the special encounter, the chaos chamber, so you'll have to burn them all anyway, so it's not really a currency, just kind of something that you're going to be recruiting when you do the event, kind of like arcade coins, stuff that you pay out at the end kind of thing, same as arcade. What moon ore is going to give you is an access to amplification of power, but goddamn is it frustrating, because it would not be Gearbox if it wasn't goddamn nightmare. Sometimes the RNG nightmare of it all. So we're gonna go over here to the blacksmith. There's a wizard hat here, and you can basically enchant every single piece of your gear, and that is where a lot of your damage is gonna come from. But it also gets exponentially more pricey the more you invest in it, which is rough. So for me, I have two spells. This one I rerolled like twice, and I finally got a spell on spell cast get an effect. Anything for me, because I dual wield magic, anything that is an action skill ability spell, trash. I can't use it. Your right hand spell does not count as an action ability, so it does not trigger those things, so just chuck it. Also, you can get on spell cast increase its melee damage, and that's also unhelpful, like a lot. Anyways, but you guys can see the difference between this, I rerolled once. The difference between this, which I rerolled 10 times, now I'm gonna have to pay 2,000 to reroll it once. So I think as soon as you reach 1,000, about like reroll level 8, so your 8th attempt on rerolling, stop. It's way too costly, it's insane. Maybe if it's like the best possible purple you've ever seen, then sure. Here's also the other thing, another tip I could give you for like pushing through the end game and just running through it effortlessly. Do your best to not skimp out on purples. Purples are probably, at least spells, purple spells are significantly better than legendaries. And I think it's because legendary spells have caps on them, meaning that they cannot spell with they cannot summon with multiple charges or with additive effects like call down lightning bolts instead of just outputting a single lightning thread. So it's this huge lightning bolt that just appears on the enemy, which is great. Or stuff like this, which is repeat and cast, spawns a giant ice spike from the ground, dealing extra damage, and it's incredible. So for me, again, that's the thing. But you can get simultaneous things. Like I could have got status power, and status power all into this one, and then your status for this is just ripping apart every enemy. Now for cryo, it's good, but if you had fire on this and like a really good dot elemental effect, then that's where things get a little crazy. But anyways, point being, tip number 1, as soon as you do a little bit of the Chaos Chambers, you get a shit ton of Moon Ore just for doing a little bit. You're going to have plenty to level and reroll things after like 2 attempts. It's crazy how much Moon Ore you can get, especially if you're playing on the max difficulty Intense, which actually, again, when you have the right things laid out, you should be able to kick some ass and take some names. But again, I'm making a mistake here where like a lot of my stuff is not perfectly enchanted, but kind of. This one's pretty good. This one has nothing. Like, what am I doing? So let's do that real quick. Let's reroll. Come on, baby! Luck of recording! Berserker specific skill. No. So then you have the choice, by the way, of you can take the new enchantment or keep the old one. It doesn't matter. I'll take the new one, I guess. It will still count it as a reroll. So even if you don't accept the new one, it still counts it as it's going to cost more now. Because every time you reroll something, it gets more and more expensive. Hopefully I was clear about that. I was hoping that you can infer that. But anyways, also, Gearbox, can we just stay at the thing I just rerolled? Can we not like go to the top of the thing and just sit there? A little pet peeve, but still plenty annoying. Okay, on spell cast, increase frost damage by 30% for 5 seconds. So here's the thing. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe melee weapon, your shield, and all of your other stuff culminate. I don't know if your individual weapons do, but this is a melee weapon, which I think is always considered to be on your person. So if I got increased frost damage on my blade, increased frost damage on my shield, increased frost damage on all of my rings, everything, then that's that's a 30% buff of frost damage times 5 when I just cast one spell that ideally is probably a frost spell. So you can see how that can exponentially rev up and get exponentially even more crazy. But yes, we are absolutely wanting that. Hitting square. Thank you. Now we don't need to touch that. It's perfect, actually. Leave it be. Reroll this one. Come on, baby. On spell cast, increase mid. After action skill ends. Stop it. Yeah, see, they keep doing me dirty. They keep doing me dirty, these sons of bitches. Ooh, enhanced spell shot. Okay. Polymorph. Targets takes 30 more damage from all sources. Well, that's if I had polymorph. What isn't it, you son of a bitch? Also, I got this cool melee weapon. I want to show you guys all the cool legendaries that we have. Also, does this look familiar? To some of my Battleborn lovers out there, that should look really iconic. Oh god, I miss Battleborn. Anyways, all that being said, those are your keys to power. Again, I would highly advise it. Like for me, I was starting to struggle because I just kept getting legendary spells, which sounds like a problem. Like this should not be a problem, but it is. I kept getting legendary spells where I was like, oh my god, and then it's just super not worth it because legendary spells feel exponentially capped in some way. They just don't feel like they hit as hard as a spell that has rapid casting that can cast in like, so yes, you might be like, oh my god, Grin, this does so much more damage than what you have, right? No, because I can hold this down for a fucking millennia, and I always have it, basically, because of the way my character's built. And yeah, also, it's hilarious to me that I'm not a spell shot, but I feel like I'm playing more of a magic character than the spell shot characters. If that makes any sense, you guys will see. Okay, so I want to explain to you guys what the Chaos Chambers do and how you should perfectly sequence them, because it took me a while to piece this together. But we're just going to do a normal run. We could do a trial run and increase my Chaos tier, which I do plan to do, but this is actually just a grind. Like, even though I haven't yet to get to a Chaos trial run where it's actually stopped me or inhibited me in any way, it's still like I gotta push through the entire encounter, even though I'm just choosing every easy buff I possibly can. Which, by the way, that's the advice for when you're doing a chaos trial. Go for as easy of a run that you can possibly manage. And you might be like, what the heck does that mean, Grin? I'll show you. I'll talk to you right now. But first of all, let's just get into it. Let's start doing the chaos run, get into the chaos chamber. So as soon as you spawn in, you're always going to have an objective. It's pretty self-explanatory. Protect a statue, destroy a statue, kill enemies within a time frame, or finish enemies with melee attack, which is awful. These things are important. Kill these. Why? Is because these things will actually summon an enemy, and every enemy has the potential to drop you a lot of gear, aka extra shards. And these shards are going to be the thing that you're going to use at the very end of the encounter to give yourself some cool weapons, which we know about, because we talked about all this kind of stuff. And yeah, and we're just gonna melt everybody. Now that we have sufficient stacks, we're gonna chuck some more pixies out and about. And yes, we're just gonna keep lighting people up. Easy peasy. We're gonna do this. Chuck some more little pixies in the air. This enemy is gonna get deleted real quick. Yes, done. Yeah, so I didn't complete the objective, so it's gonna say like, boo-hoo, side quest failed. Sometimes they give you like melee of a thing, and you're like, what the fuck? I'm not a melee. I cannot do any damage to people at melee range. But big takeaway here is that crystal, always pop them because they drop shards and it's pretty good. Now, there are things that exponentially increase your chaos level generally. So here's what does. Your chaos level, just going into the encounter, will scale up the amount of shards that you're gaining, stuff like that, the drop chances. But this guy, this is specifically the Demon Lord's zone, okay? So we'll see that in portals later down the line. So what this Dragon Lord does, the big bad of the whole game, he gives you a curse to make the encounter harder. Easy gives you 30% extra crystals. Pretty good. Medium, this one, gives you 60% more crystals. The hard one gives you exponential I think it's 120% increase to crystals. So we're gonna go with hard. We might regret this. I don't know what all the modifiers are back front yet. Toothless. What is toothless? Critical hit damage decreased. That's actually pretty bad. That's actually pretty bad. But now we have a choice between Butt Stallion's Realm or more curses. Now, here's the thing. We also have other options here. So Butt Stallion is this realm is just a very, very easy realm. At the end of it, you are going to be given chances for buffs, and also just by completing it, Butt Stallion will give you like 2 extra skill points to put in a random skill, so you'll just have better damage, hopefully, if you get the right roll. But you also have something called Hold to make encounter elite, and we're spending our shards to make it so. But I would suggest not doing this yet. The reason why is because what that does when you summon elite enemies, what that's going to do is that's going to make every single enemy in the encounter have greater health bars, do a little bit more damage, stuff like that. But it's going to drop more shards, okay? But it's not going to drop that many more shards because we only have one curse. We only have times 120 extra shards. Be careful, because it's super easy to bite yourself and just wreck yourself, essentially, because you have to choose one of the curses when going into this thing. But alas, don't make things elite until you're gaining the most shards. So I would suggest, if you can manage it, get 2 curses, hopefully they're not the worst, on the hard or medium scale, and then make things elite, because then you are going to times, 240 gain of shards, and then you're going to make an encounter elite after you have that curse on you that increases your shard gain, and then you're going to have more shards to get in the encounters to follow, if that makes sense. And you want to do this earlier, because the more curses that you accumulate, the better the drops will become, because you'll be gaining shards this whole time. So the sooner you can get a times X amount of shards, the better. That makes sense? Hopefully. But right now, we're not even going to make this elite. We're just going to go into it and do this one just so we can make everything past this one elite, because we're going to take another curse and make it even harder for ourselves. But if you're doing the trial run, go do Butt Stallions. There's no point in making it harder when you're trying just to increase your curse level, which will be good just because it's increasing your ability and chance to actually do stuff. Also, because we sat and talked for so long, all my spell stacks are gone. How can I do this to myself? I'll probably show you guys my build in a hot minute. It is very much the mage derpiness of just look at stuff, cast spells, snap fingers, and die. Everything gets... Oh, finish enemies in time. Oh, this is the one that sucks because enemies aren't as aggro as they usually are. And yes, we gotta make sure every enemy's dying. My summons do most of my work. Where's that thing just went? There we go, he's dead. Where's the next one? But yeah, see, like, this is what I mean. I'm more of a mage than a lot of the spell shot builds I've seen, which is weird, because just repeating casting, I don't know. People are hellbent on using the trigger. I don't know why people haven't fallen in love with repeating casting. It just feels like it's the way. It probably does significantly lower damage, but it's just so fun to snap your fingers and everything die in front of you, you know? He's dead. There's this one over here. Where is it? This. Thank you. There's one more. Kill him quick. Go, my little Tinkerbells. Yes, I'm Peter Pan up in here. Okay, so we're going to break those. Those are going to drop just shards, so you're going to always want to do that before you collect the thing. But now... this might be a really brutal, guys. I'm getting wrecked. Dot is bad, because my whole build is like dark magic, and cryo, and that's all dot damage. But I did want to stand by what I said, so let's go hard. So now we have literally 240% extra shard gain right at the beginning, which is what you want. And now you have a choice between stacking even, what does that do? Yeah, it reduces status effect, fuck me, not good. But you guys can see now we have 120 more shards to gain. So we could go for even more, we can go 300 and something, but let's not. This is enough to where you can play and start like ending the thing with a decent amount. So now we're going to go into this one. Now, people have been saying a lot of things with this. I think it's just what this one gives you is greater shards at the end of it. So instead of getting a shard here, and then a special thing in between. So if this was a chest that wasn't blue, it was just a normal like gold chest or brownish chest, there would be a shard here, and a chest in the middle. Well, there might just be one shard if you haven't completed the objective. So that's what gives you the passive other two, I guess. But if you do this, you'll always be awarded the kind of dice shard in the middle, which will give you shards back. So this is what you want to do if you want to get more shards, which I would highly suggest you do. This and the get loot at the end is kind of it doesn't really matter. It's like you get loot here or you get loot at the end. Ideally, if you've done 2 curses, you probably should make this, you should go for more crystals, because what you've done by getting 2 curses is by increasing your ability to get more crystals. So yeah, but we are going to make this elite, just so I can show you guys what that is. Hopefully we can manage. Again, I've yet to get to a point where it's too overbearing, and I need to go farm for a specific more, like improve my spell, or even get, well, the thing is like you can't even just get like a mayhem level 5 spell. You need to get a chaos level thing, and even then that's not necessarily going to be your key to power. It's like you need to get your enhancements in order a little bit, which means you just need to play more chaos zone. Oh, also we need to get into the zone. Yeah, I'm so bad at that. I get so into like the classic mindlessness of Borderlands murdering. But you guys can see that everyone has more health bars now, but we just need to kill things in this zone. Keep making sure our pixies are out, because we do a lot of companion damage as well with my build. We're kind of like a magic just turret with a bunch of pixies killing everything. And yeah, but there's no time limit on this, so you can chill. Sometimes there is, but also my skill tree is not perfect yet. I've yet to like respec my like stats, like constitution and things like that, which would improve my success greatly, I think, if I just pump critical damage. But then you can get a modifier that rips you up, makes it quite hard. What are we doing? Oh, there you are. Look at you, elite. You're gonna get melted all the same, my friend, and I can just keep casting. There we go. Also, you want to have not the same elements on your gear. Okay, that makes sense. He's gonna die in no time. There we go, melted, objective complete. But you guys can see that every enemy we killed here dropped a bunch more shards because they were all elites, and because we have the extra curses in our back pocket, they're dropping even more shards. But this is the thing I wish with all, if Gearbox could see this, or if the community could rile together. Please, 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 Gearbox, give us the ability to just collect any shards within the area, because it's so annoying that if I accidentally had a summon that killed something over here, I have to run through the entire area before it gets into my pocket, because I'm sitting here like, what the hell? Yeah, but if you didn't complete the objective, that one wouldn't be there. And yeah, also, if you didn't come to this room, this middle one would be something different. It could be a dragon, could be a chest, could be whatever, but because this one is just is like a pony chest, I guess, it drops that. It drops the more shards. So you guys can see now that we got a fair bit of shards, especially with the multipliers at hand. Now, when you make something elite, you also increase the deadliness of it. I mean, honestly, we were able to get by with that relatively easily. Let's go increase the difficulty even more. Yeah, this one, though, would just be a nice, easy level. It would be pretty chill. But we're not going to make this one... I guess we'll make this one elite. Yeah, we killed all the enemies fine. We're just going to be getting more shards from it, but not as many shards. But anyways, we'll get one more modifier. Again, when you get to Chaos level 20, this is where modifiers... I would just say stick with 2 modifiers, and you'd probably be good. But also, that means that there's going to be, a boss at the end of the encounter, so be careful. Also, I kept talking to your ear off, so I don't have as many stacks. But don't worry, we'll get stacks in no time. Also, we could get even more pixie things in the air, because for whatever reason, they're capped for SMGs, but shotguns and whatnot are on separate counters. Stop it. I just wish enemies would come and find me quicker. I have to run to them, and that's annoying. Okay, so now we got the enemy coming in. We're just gonna throw some magic at him, as we tend to do. Snip, snap, 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 snap. This. Also, I think casting meteors or like chucking meteors increases it counts as spells, like actually casting spells. So if you have any sort of kill skill, like the Graveborn, that by casting a spell you activate kill skills or reduce your spell cooldown, that just intrinsically feeds within the character perfectly. So yeah. I also noticed that whenever I chuck my meteor, I get a chunk of shield back, which is really good because you're outputting damage as well as repairing yourself. Things are insane, the synergies. Anyways, can't wait to talk to you guys about the weird buildness I got going on. But anyways, so now we can have a chance to do even more curses, which I don't know. Let's grab our shards. What is it? Elemental overflow. I'm good actually. Let's not overbear, but we could get even more. We could increase our percentage chance of getting exponentially more shards. But let's just go with the easy one, which is non-boss enemies below 15% armor, total ward, blue. Yeah, so we only gain 30% more bonus shards with that one. But at this point, because we've already taken 2 curses, I would say go with the extra shard just for the ending payout. But I would also say that if you wanted to go in to get some just legendaries, if you're just doing quick runs, then it'd probably be worth doing that. But last, we're going to make this elite so that the enemies drop more shards. And again, I would really hope the gearbox would tweak the chaos chambers so that they weren't just kind of a mess. Oh, I hate this one. This one's actually quite annoying. Okay, so we're going to try to look for what would be the spark. There it is, that thing. Go grab it. You need to go grab it, and you're gonna feed it to this thing. And that's gonna have a little bit more resistance to heal. But it's kind of a fucky, weird thing. Make sure we're chucking these. Especially with a person like me who has summons, which is just super easy for like an enemy to die and me not know where that is, and then that's where the shard is. It's really easy to have that not happen. There it is! Get me! Come on, big guy. Yeah, see, that thing's dwindling really rapidly. Hey, take, okay. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Oh, you can actually see the timer it gives you on the thing. There we go. Thank God that guy dropped right there. And it just stacked time, I believe, on it. So you get even more if you manage to pace it out even better. But again, there's no time here. We got plenty of time, so chill out. We're good to go. There we go, we beat the encounter, but now you need to make sure to run around and collect all your shards, because again, this is the thing that is frustrating about this is, if you're like me who has a companion build, my companion starts melting things around the map, you're like, is there crystals all the way up there? Do I really have to run all the way up there and inhibit my like momentum to do this? I know it's a little issue, but it's still annoying to be like, this just feels like it could be perfect. It's just like, you get into like a perfect flow state, you're like bang, 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 but now you're waiting, like you're like an idiot. You know what I mean? I don't like it. Get all your shards, and again, all of our shards are going to be repaid in full. Gotta love it. We're going to make this even harder with elites because we haven't had any problem yet, even though we took 2 curses which neuter my critical damage and my status, which is the main source of damage I do. Now, mind you, when you get higher up in chaos levels, enemies get more than just 15% harder. I don't think they get to the point in which it's like mayhem level absolute bullshit. Oh, also, yeah, I'm not going to be able to complete this one. It's a melee one. I wish they would also do that. I wish they would also fix that. Like maybe give you 2 choices, like spell damage or melee damage. Just because like it's literally impossible to kill someone with melee. Because you need to kill more than one enemy with melee. Unless you just want a person that has a specific build with everything. But it's funny because I haven't seen anything with that's like that. Like something that's like that with spells. I've only seen it with melee. So it's like why like this is clearly an underside. An underside big time, you know what I mean? But we're gonna end this with 2,000. It's not bad. Again, you could hyper stack the the advantage, I guess, and yeah, like you could get even more curses. And honestly, I think we could have handled more, but again, and then we get a choice like this where we could do more curses, or we could get a legendary, which at this point I would just say we're gonna get a legendary. In fact, I don't know, unless you have a shit ton of curses, then it's the best case scenario that you keep getting the special like rainbow chest, I guess. But I hate this one. This one sucks. Like defending the chest, I always find that those enemies, it's just a pain to actually fight and get these people going. Slowly but surely, melting them down. Yeah, the one thing I do like a lot about this is that there's not any time negation to it. Like you can just, all you need to do is protect the statue. And also, if you lose, you don't like lose out on 80% of the loot. It's just like, hey, now if you want to get some more shards, then you would do this objective. It's not like you have to do the objective or that there's a time negation thing to it. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I can't even tell you guys how much they could have fucked this up so badly by just being like, hey, like if you fail to do this in time, you fail the whole event. And like I don't get how people don't realize how flawed that is. But so many games do it, where they're like, what if time was that you just got fucked and you just had no, yeah, you're screwed. In fact, absolutely just destroyed. You didn't get any loot from it. It was entirely a waste of time. How much do you want to keep playing after that? So much, I bet. So much. We did the encounter. I guess they just kept stacking up if you take a little bit of a long time. But we did it. We also did the side quest, but that was a lot of enemies actually. But I think we're getting close to the very, very end. But see, this is what I mean. You gotta run all the way over here. Make sure you grab these shards. Otherwise, you could just leave. Which I hope they just say, hey, all shards in the area sucked up to you at the end of the encounter. Which maybe they do. Why wouldn't they tell you they do that? That's the case. I'm the asshole kind of moment, or it's actually the case. But otherwise, yeah. See, there's one under there. Oh, but right there. See that's what you want to look at. Yeah. So this is like labeled as chaotic, okay? So this is what that would be. So what all that means is that the base damage, you guys can see, my damage on my melee weapon is eclipsed by the damage of this, which is considered a chaotic drop, okay? And that's even with having relatively low gear, as well as this is not considered chaotic. So yeah, but that I could put on, and that would just have better base stats. But the sub stats below that melee weapon were pretty shit. It was also purple, so it just doesn't have as many of those bottom stats that make a weapon kind of truly insane. But still good, but yeah, I don't think chaos makes or breaks a weapon entirely. No, also, having a higher chaos level does not mean you get better chaos gear. It increases the chance of chaos gear dropping for you, which right now it's at 7, so it's really, really rare for me to get it. Also, not bad. Actually, this one's actually kind of an okay spell. It's not great, but yeah. Anyways, this, when you only see 1 and it's in like red, that means you've gotten to the very end. I also think if you see 3 in the corner, if I make my face cam go away, there's a 3 there. When you get to the 3rd, that's the amount of chambers you go through, I guess. Also, oh my god, I fucking hate this boss fight. It's the most buggy, immune phased shit ever. Also, it's kind of spoilery, actually. Anyway, this is kind of already spoiled. If you've seen this video, you've already seen this fight. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna go up here. I hate it so much. It's just like the most like, can I do damage now? And I get how it works. It just still seems shitty, just for what it's worth. It's funny because you're like, oh my god, look how much damage we're doing. And then he's like, hey, here's this whole instance where you just have to fight a bunch of random shit. And you're like, really? That seems so fun. No, it does not. I'm just waiting here, not able to do anything. It's the worst. And he's about to drop. God damn you. This should do it. And he's gonna get into immune phase, and now we're just sitting here chilling until he decides, hey, time to do the stupid yeah, there it is, immunity. Oh, I hate this boss fight so much. It was actually very fun the first time, but then you're like, man, there's a lot of invincibility frames. I'm just sitting here like an idiot. And he's like, hey, you know, all that health you took away? Gone. Absolutely does not exist. You did nothing, actually, sir. Oh, here we go. He's like, hey, by the way, I have a dragon. Anyway, so now you can do damage to him on occasion, but then he's gonna basically get a forced immunity by his dragon, which is just great. So now you have to focus on his dragon and shoot it until it decides to stop, which is, you know, the best. I love this fight more than I could possibly describe. It is so good, and you know, the whole game they was doing really good with not having too many bosses with invincibility frames, and then they're like, you know what? Fuck it. What if we just said fuck it? Like, why the fuck is this like, I get, like, maybe you want the viewer or the person on their first playthrough to see all the cool things, but like when we're just chilling here, it just seems like a absolute mistake to have them have all this shit. So now we can do damage to him finally. Yeah, and again, if we were just given the opportunity to actually damage him, we would be fine. I hate so much the immunity phases. Like, sometimes it's done really good. That's what I was trying to say mid-boss fight. Also, we have legendary. But sometimes it's really done properly. Like there's a moment of like, maybe it's like 5 seconds, but the enemy curdles over and starts sucking in souls that you can easily break. So it's like a question of, okay, now you have to be accurate, hit these things down, boom, you're going to be able to get to the next phase of the boss fight, sure, and it's actually increased given your skill about being able to hit these things. Awesome. It doesn't do that when you're just shooting this stupid dragon thing. It is so frustrating and so poorly done. Also, we got a legendary spell, but it's actually not as awesome as you might think. That's just how spells are. Spells are like this. It's kind of cool, but there's only one cast of it, and it's okay damage. Is it chaotic? I don't think so. So a lot of the spells that are legendaries are kind of broken by the fact that I've yet to find one with multiple charges, with channeling, anything like that. So you're kind of sitting there like, neat. It's kind of neat, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's nowhere near as this. Just like constant bop, 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 bop. That's like 4 or 5 hits in one spell that I can actually spread out everywhere and last a lot longer of a time. Anyways, we are leaving this with 3K. See, that's the thing that sucks sometimes, man. Sorry, the reason why it's bad is because the bunnies that we're gonna go give are 500. They're always 500 what they ask for the currency. So if you're a little bit short of that, they don't give you like the maximum amount of it, which is annoying. But anyways, this is our stats. This is what it shows us. We took a lot of ward damage, all that stuff. What do you call it? 10 elite bosses killed. And again, if you're playing co-op, there's a multiplier on this, so you get even more shards. And if you're playing, what is it called? If you're playing co-op, you're also spread out more, so you're able to pick up all the shards and collect them easier. And if there's any crystals, the one that we broke at the very beginning, throughout the map, you can break that, have another enemy that you can kill and get more shards. So there's things like that sequence, which is what makes this such a fun endgame thing. Anyways, we also have this chest, which is our kind of like, regardless of if you just ran through this is the chest that will always be waiting for you to give you enough. Oh, cool, we got shards from that. Okay, so yeah, we got that. Also, so this is a tip that I heard somebody say and I thought was absolutely brilliant. But when you get to this room, slap on luck gear. This is kind of an extra step that I don't know if it's entirely necessary, because it's just a lot, but it is just something that you could do. You could keep gear that's specifically like luck on a necklace, luck on all the stuff that you could use to slap on really quick, open up all these chests, because that will increase your global luck stat, increasing the drop chance of that. So that's something to consider, to slap on some like good luck abilities, or like necklaces if you've been keeping them around. But also, I don't know if it's 100% necessary. Also, like a shield like this, actually pretty good. Basically capacity is 4K, okay? And that's because it is purple and it is considered a chaotic. Now you can get ones that like 10% of your health is now converted into shield. And to boot, it is giving you, it's chaotic. So not only does it have a base increase, but then it also has even more of a base increase because that multiplier is feeding into the grayed out stats, or the yellow capacity essentially, and making it even more. So that's where you truly win. But my shield gives me a little something right now, so I'm not sure if it's that worth it. We'll pick it up. I might use it, but yes. Also, erupts spawns a singularity. No. But now that begs the question, what should you use? What should you spend your points on? Well, I think the thing that I was making a mistake on is buying things like this, magic. I'm almost certain and I've heard this around too, legendary spells are not as good as purple spells that are rolled perfectly. So the legendary spell that we just got is neat, but unless you can have like a version of it that has multiple charges and like simultaneous casting, so you can just keep launching like a torrent of like ice in front of you, which would be sick, it's not useful. So to me, I don't know if Gearbox is like flipped a switch where legendaries can't have like the crazy variability on like the like modular nature of everything, where you could get something that's absolute trash, but also something psychotically good. I hope they change that, or maybe I'm just super unlucky and that does exist, it's just rarer than hell. I don't know. I don't think that's the case. I haven't even seen somebody in a video of like Wonderlands this week pop out where person's like, here's the god roll of this legendary. So I think they're weirdly limited, and I think that's awful. But spells I actually would not suggest you going for. I think you could easily go to a vendor and just farm out a vendor and get a perfect blue spell. So you guys may be like, Grin, the spells you're rocking are actually like look really good, especially this one. The one that has like all of the modifiers. This one's pretty good, but this one has like, what is it? Spell critical damage, 120. That's pretty good, okay? It's a lot of spell critical damage. Also, spell status effect damage is increased too. So it's exceptional in that regard. Cooldown as well as we got, I put a good enchantment on it, as well as we got, 3 spell charges, and it's repeating casting. And it's got a special modifier at the bottom that summons an ice spike rather than just spewing out some ice from your hands. It comes right from the ground, impacting in a second. Even if an enemy's flying, it still hits them in the air as if it comes out of the air itself, which is fun. But I got this by farming the vending machines. Now, if this was chaotic, but also chaotic things can drop from the vending machines if I'm not mistaken as well. So you could get the god roll version of that, and you can roll that immediately. Like the vending machines almost always have a purple spell in there. You can just keep detonating that. Save, quit, go to vending machine. Save, quit, go to vending machine. You just need to have the base amount to buy 1 and make sure that 1 you're buying is pretty damn good. And even if I didn't have a good enhancement on this, or enchantment, sorry, it still would be worth its weight in gold. Like this is super good. You know what I mean? So I would suggest actually not buying this. And for me, what's more valuable, because it's kind of more sequencing with my build, is I've heard a lot of stuff about shotguns that are really, really good, and specifically Tediore shotguns when it comes to like crazy companion damage.
Also, you can buy class mod. That's probably a good idea too.
Sticky things, throwable weapon creates a lightning bolt. Okay, that spawns a Hydra companion. You see what I mean? Does it make sense? So now we have not only a shotgun that it has the wave pattern, so good AoE if I want to shoot it, hard to miss, but now I can throw it, and not only is it going to do an instance of spell damage, but it's also going to spawn a Hydra. What is that? That is insane. Also, that thing lasts a pretty good time. That lasts a long-ass time. Well, eventually it would shoot out all of its magazine and be good, but you can see the craziness that gets in with that. Also, yeah, it's a throwing weapon, creates a massive lightning bolt, and then creates a singularity. You can see how the Tediores can get really fun. And I have yet to find a problem with ammo, and I haven't even gotten like a lot of the endgame maxed out things. I will say that's the annoying part, is when you have to recheck everything because it's in the same area. But anyways, because we took the 2, oh, look at that, baby! But because we took the 2 curses, the max difficulty curses, and then we started to specialize into the chests of the rainbow chests. That gave and we made them elite. That made all of our shard gain. But if you were to just do the crystal chests and make them elite, you wouldn't get that much out of it because you're not enhancing the amount of crystals you're getting with the curses. Does that make sense? So you always want to do curses first, if you possibly can, and then cycle into the other things. Don't go too buck wild with curses though, because you can regret it heavily. I keep getting sword explosion, man, but it keeps only shooting 1 sword, and it just looks like the most dainty, horrible thing ever. On spell cast increases lightning damage. Okay, yeah, but see, man, I'm not sure, man, but I felt really disappointed with the melee, with the weapons, which is the weapons. Same thing. We got a spell damage, but yeah, after reloading this weapon's melee attack singularity. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really disappointed with the legendaries. I feel like they took out the modular ability of it. Like this can't summon with ×3, or if it is, I probably can, but it's just I haven't seen one yet. So until I see it, then I'm like, okay, legendaries can be fun, but Jesus, legendary again. Purples are exponentially more exciting than anything else. It's a Furiar, sorry. Throne creates a massive lightning bolt and spawns another Hydra. That's the one we just got, but this one's better in terms of damage. Okay, I see. Oh, there we go. You see that right there? That is it's glimmering with some wispy things, but it's so hard to find. There it is, chaotic. What do you call it? Damage to projectiles in front of the ward amp. Okay. It's chaotic, so that means its base damage and stats overall are increased. Shoots a magic blast of energy, yes, because that is considered a chaotic item. But guys, I'm on chaos number 4. So like I'm not like deep into chaos level, and I'm still getting chaos gear, and the chaos gear is not sequenced like level 4 chaos gear. It's just chaos gear. It's all uniform. So you can take all of the gear that you just got and get ready to sell it. But yeah, that's a lot. We just got 2 to 3 items that are chaos considered gear. Now again, chaos gear is weird, but it's again, if you get a chaos equivalent on your thing, and honestly in some cases it is worth doing the spell thing, because you could get a purple that is considered chaos and it has decent substats and all that stuff. But again, I will say that's the one thing that I do think they should fix. But yeah, like the legendaries feel like I keep getting them and they keep being the same neutral version of things, that there's no like variability. And maybe it's because I'm not getting a lot of them. Maybe if I kept getting them to drop at the same frequency as purples, I'd be like, okay. But I just find every single one I've gotten has been limited in some way. Like I can clearly tell that like it's like they're the exact carbon copy of each other. without any sort of change, with the one exception of like magazine space, fire rate, but not like ×5 pellet count or something, you know, especially on sword explosion, which I've gotten like 6 of. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait to make a video talking about my build and all the legendaries that I found and how cool they are. I want to show you guys like where like a TDR to farm that's really good, specifically for my build, but also maybe your build. Just seems like companion builds are also very, very fun and pretty good. But last, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hope you guys do enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully that explains some things. Again, I had some misconceptions about the chambers. The quick TLDR of it is you always want to make, get as many curses as you possibly can, given your build can handle it. Try to aim for doing hard, unless it completely immobilizes, like the modifier itself completely immobilizes your build, then don't take that one. But the point is that you want to get a higher multiplier on the shards gained throughout the rest of the encounter. So even just going 2 curses that are hard, and then just not looking at the curses at all, and then always making the rooms elite so that the enemies will drop more shards, and then doing shard specific rooms will give you even more shards for the end there, which are quite good. And you could argue that that's actually better because you can slap on a bunch of necklaces and charms and increase your luck stats as soon as you get into that room, whereas if you chose the special chest that drops like gear or legendaries, or just like the chest one, that one you'd have to pause what you're doing, put on all the gear, and then you'll have to do that 4 or 5 times throughout the run. So it's better to say bet on the room at the end than the other chest rooms. So I would say the priority is curses, and then a special like rainbow purple chests, and make them elite, and you'll be good to go. You'll end with a shit ton of stuff, and oftentimes the modifiers that you'll get, I got really unlucky there, which neutered a lot of my damage. Because status damage is the main thing I'm doing, as well as critical damage is one of the main things I'm doing. I have a really high crit chance, so a little annoying, and a little unlucky, but that reduced my run, and I still could easily go by it. Also, I really wish they would take out the invincibility phases, or at least speed them up drastically in the things, because it just feels so. It feels terrible. So much of what this is like feeling the reward systems in your brain being procced. Like there's no timer here. It's just you got to kill at the minimum, and you get something out of it. So the fact that that's a thing to me, like the immune fight phases within some of the bosses. Some bosses don't have that bad immune phases. It's literally just like, hey, give me a sec. Okay, next thing. Here we go. The last boss, specifically the one that you keep getting, is just insufferable, which is why I think in some cases it's probably significantly better to not do a random run, but to do the the featured run. The reason why is because the featured run might have a boss at the very end that is always going to be the same. Also, one thing to note is that the Chaos Trial runs are always going to be the same. So Chaos Level Trial 4 is going to be the same as Chaos Level Trial 4 for you. So if I went and did this, it's going to be the same. So you can know that, okay, the boss at the end of this nullifies, is like really resistant to cryo. Okay, well, you can go into this encounter being like, okay, I need a weapon that does any damage, essentially. Still, you just need to get by one trial, then you're good. And then you can just farm the vending machines for an OP spell and just use the chaos level scaling on that spell and just whoosh, call it good if you wanted. But alas, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's what I'll do. I think I'm going to basically push my chaos rank to the maximum point I can. Then I'm going to break off and then go and farm vending machines until I can get a chaos level spell that's good, and that will carry me in terms of damage. And then I might have to get a shield along the way. Although I got a shield, so I guess I don't need that anymore. But anyways, that's be what I advise for you guys, is utilize all the things at your disposal. Thank you kindly for your time. Hopefully that made sense. I'm gonna definitely jump more into this. But alas, thank you again, and goodbye.